Okay, so I think the first question is just kind of like where are you now? Like what career did you pursue and how's it going?
Sure, I guess I'll introduce myself. So for anyone watching, I'm Aditi. I was in the SLJC class of 2021. And right now I'm pursuing a career in medicine. I guess I'm a pre-med, but I'm currently a sophomore in the BSMD program at Augusta University. So I'm happy to be with here today.
So what has been your journey through what's your journey through SLGC been like?
Sure. So I actually applied to SLJC in freshman year. I hadn't really heard about SLJC before, except that like other people were applying and the freshman year mentality. I was like, okay, if like other people who are my friends are doing this, like I'll apply too. And I wasn't really expecting much, but I ended up applying and getting in, which was like a miracle, I guess. And I did join SLJC like in the beginning of my sophomore year. I didn't really know what I was in for. I was like a really like shy student. So like this was like a pretty big change for me in terms of like social engagement and just like being a part of the community. I decided to apply for the Secretary of State ambassadors, and so I got in my second year of the program. And so I was in like the Secretary of State ambassadors team, and then we won our state championship. Lots of great memories there. Unfortunately, our year like was completely like during COVID, but yeah, I had a lot of fun in SLJC. That's why I'm here in this interview today.
Nice. How was your what was your project, your first year project?
So my group project was basically about helping people who had Alzheimer's. And so we did a couple of things. We volunteered at a memory care facility and like worked with older people who had Alzheimer's. We also like made a website talking about Alzheimer's and like what causes it, what people think are the causes, some ways that it's like being like treated or like being monitored like right now medically. And then I think the most important part of our project, we went to the Georgia Capitol and then we actually worked with this organization that lobbied for increased like Alzheimer's funding. So that was a lot of fun. That was for pretty good days, my group project days.
Yeah. What were some skills that you had before your first year project? And then how kind of did those skills develop during both your project and then the Secretary of State program?
Yeah, I think that's a really important question. I think especially in my freshman year of high school, and just throughout high school, I think I saw my like social and public speaking skills develop a lot. Like I said, I was like a very, very shy student. So learning how to speak comfortably with both my peers and like more of like authority figures was super important to me. Because I think before then, I always felt like a little bit intimidated and awkward, especially when I thought I was speaking to someone who was like at like a higher position than me, if that makes sense, like a teacher or someone in office. Like I just didn't know how to connect with them or interact with them because I felt like I was just like a high school student. But I think this program really helped me feel like I was part of a community. And it's like important for everyone in the community to be engaged and like my ideas also matter and they can play a big impact in like what our community looks like. So I think I learned a lot about like being a part of a community and what it means to be like a responsible citizen as well. Before that, I had like a minimal interest in politics, especially at like the civil level. Like, of course, like I cared about presidential elections, but maybe like, like the county elections, they weren't important to me. But like coming into this program, I really realized how much you can like change things at like a small level and that really impacts like your day-to-day life. And so that's super important. And that's something I think I would have actually realized if I didn't happen to like get into SLGC my freshman year of high school and like go through this program. I think the other thing is it really helped me with like my networking skills. I know I'm going into a career in medicine. It's not typically thought of as like something you need networking for, but I've realized that like being able to talk to people who are in your profession and being able to connect with them, either through LinkedIn or even if you see them somewhere, it can make a huge difference in the opportunities you have. And that's something that a lot of high school students lack. And
Mhm.
so I think it's like this is a great program. Really excited for all the other kids to be a part of it too.
Yeah. And then kind of the last question. This is my first, I did not know how quick these were gonna go, but, how has SLJC contributed other than like, obviously, being able to communicate with people? How has it contributed to your success within, your school, like your college career? And then how do you expect it to impact your career once you actually get into like the workplace?
Honestly, I think the biggest impact that SLJC had was giving me a little bit of experience. Just like some experience that you get in SLJC, you're not getting in your typical like high school program. Especially because like in Secretary of State ambassadors, we were even able to like hold like a whole debate for like candidates. And like that's like opportunities that are difficult to get just like like in your school club. And I think having those like tangible skills, like I knew how to do this, I knew how to set up this like little candidate session, I knew how to set up a debate, I knew how to make questions to interview, like what you're doing right now. I know that there's thought that goes into those questions. And if you want to like have a specific sort of interview with someone, you need to tailor the questions to that. And I know all the scheduling that comes with it. You have to set up the meeting, you have to like try to coordinate times. You have to help people figure out Zoom, especially in the early days of COVID. I think through SOJC, you really talk to people like at all age levels and really in like multiple fields. And it really helps you get acquainted with maybe things that aren't necessarily related to your future career, but they're still very important. So I don't want a career in politics, but because of like Secretary of State and SOJC, I think I understand more about like the current system in the US, if that makes sense. Like AP Gov obviously gives you like a basic outcome like map of like how the US works. But I think seeing it in real life and like how like elections actually operate, how you can get people to like vote, it makes a big difference, especially as someone who's not going into politics. I think I can still carry those things into my career, especially seeing like how certain people think, how maybe like people from like a political party different from the one I believe in think. Those are all very important. I think being able to have like a neutral and respectful conversation with someone, that's also an important skill that I've learned. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So a little kind of background on our project. We're doing so this year marks 10 years of SLGC. And so we're like, well, let's kind of show a history of SLGC and then also portray it in a way for eighth grade families that makes it like kind of it shows them that this is an option. Cause I think like you, I applied because a friend had applied. Um,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people coming into it, if you're not, friends with people that are applying, then it's not a program that you know too much about. And so we're hosting a summit or like a night of SLGC at our school for a lot of eighth and ninth grade families to come and learn and like see this is a program that is available to you, like how just so you know, here's all of the impact that this program has had and here's why you should join. So I guess that being said, do you have anything in particular that you would advise these eighth or ninth grade families in relation to SLGC?
I think especially as eighth or ninth graders, I know that like tensions are starting to rise high. Like you have to start thinking about college. Maybe you have to start thinking about high school if you haven't done that already. There's so many different extracurriculars out there, and you're really trying to prioritize which ones are better than others. I would say this program, I think everyone who's gone through it can legitimately say that they have learned something from it. Like some people have learned more than others, obviously, as is the case with anything. But I think a lot of my peers, even if the like smallest benefit they got was like making a LinkedIn account and making a successful one that they keep up with, that also makes a big difference in your future career. So I think that this program is really setting you up to be a professional in today's world. And like it teaches a lot of skills that we aren't really taught in school, as in like how to speak professionally and how to just act and behave in a way that sets you apart and makes you kind of a small leader in your own community. Even if you feel like you're not the type to become a leader, like it really can happen. I went from like a very, very shy, introverted person. I still am. I'm currently like I started my own club at college, and so I'm leading it. And that's somewhere like I never thought I could be, especially as like a freshman in high school. So just know like your skills are developing, you have time, you're going to grow throughout high school, and this program, it might just help you along the way. Um, and so yeah, I pretty much only have good things to say about this program. And I honestly like I had it during COVID, so I didn't even get like the full experience of it. I only had like one like non-COVID year in the program, and the second one was like 2020, 2021. Um, but even in that capability, I think I learned so much, and so much of what I learned, I still like implement in my life today. So yeah, I would highly recommend it.
Okay, I think that's it. So, all
Yeah.
right. Thank you so
Good luck
much for
for your
leading.
project. Oh my gosh, it sounds great. I
Thank
think you guys
you.
are doing a great thing. And I know the group projects can be a little tough sometimes. Our initial, I think we had like an initial group project and like it just didn't work out. And we had to do like a second group project. So I totally understand all the challenges that come
Yeah.
with it. It can seem stressful, but at the end of the day, it's just more experience in your belt. And I think you guys are doing a great job. I thought you've like I love the interview questions and I've had a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you guys need anything, let me know.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.